The troll.
Hello and welcome to Mzansi. We're back. It's that time when we promised that while they're off in that magistrate in that high court, we will continue obviously looking at either this case or other case. Obviously we have a lot and we had to choose from a lot of topics that we have done research for, and they are ready. We are going to deliver them slowly but surely. Eventually we'll get to the end of it all. The question is posed, which is, could Mngomezulu be Teffonized? For those who do not understand what we mean by saying Mngomezulu could be Teffonized, or even trying to even put a word like that, Teffonized, because we saw what happened to Tefo and how it happened, the timing and everything else that happened after that. It is something to be, I don't know if it's a coincidence, then well, it is a coincidence. Very interesting though, that if you look, for example, the day of arguments in conjunction with the day in which Mngomezulu is set to have to appear in court, it seems as if he basically has no time to prepare for argument. He might have time to prepare for arguments, but it will give him, or it will serve no purpose for him to start arguing and stop. I don't know if that would be allowed. So,
yeah,
what we should be seeing
is back on the 4th, and he'll be appearing for his matter on the 6th.
Yes.
So, there's a possibility that he might not even argue.
Yes. Which is a very good timing if you ask me, because the date that was released first is that one of
the 6th.
Of the 6th. And then followed by this one of the 4th. Well, we might have Ramosipid to argue this whole case.
Yes.
But if you ask me, I would have rather had Mngomezulu than Ramosipid to argue the case.
Me
For
too.
my reason, I would choose Mngomezulu to argue this case in a very sober-minded state, which already by this case that is pending, that he needs to appear on, his mind is not, I don't think it will be sober.
Yeah.
Yes. So, this happened with Tefo
Yes.
in a different scenario.
Yes.
Side by side, ours is to try and point to the similarities. We're not saying anything. We're just saying the coincidence
There's
of
a
these
pattern.
two cases, patterns. Yeah, they're very amazing, if you ask me.
And I'm sure you guys have noticed as well how Mngomezulu has kind of come down, or has kind of been not as sharp.
As he was.
It's
when
almost
he
like
came.
he's been neutralized or something, in my opinion. It's like he cannot be himself anymore. Should he be himself, a case pops up. A case, by the way, that was said to have been closed. What's the legal term for it? Withdrawn. And then it got resuscitated. Remember how I used to mention that cases get resuscitated a lot here? Well, Mngomezulu also, his case got resuscitated. But let's get into the details of it all. Hi guys, welcome back to the Mzansi Reality YouTube channel. We are live again. We've decided to continue with the court of public opinion. I know there are many courts of public opinions that are popping up on YouTube, but Mzansi Reality still remains the court of public opinion. And the reason why we decided to do this live is because we'd also like to give you guys an opportunity to give your opinions of the situation. I know throughout the trial, we were not really focusing on these stories that were coming. They were coming like a flood, you know? although it's nice covering them as breaking news because, they get a lot of attraction, but we couldn't do it because at the same time, we were too focused on what Ndanzi was going to say and what Sibia were going to say, and also the witness we had, to Brigadier Gininda, was very important in this case. So we needed to cover day-to-day court proceedings and not rob them, so that by the end of everything, we can put the puzzles together and not really do too much of lying. Not too much of going left, but remaining with the facts of the case. So guys, welcome back to the Mzansi Reality YouTube channel. And yes, later on, after I've done giving you the nitty-gritties of Mngomezulu's case, we'll open the lines, I think, Mr. Anonymous, so that our people can share their opinions. Our family can continue to voice out their opinions. They are very important, you guys. And I know sometimes it feels like you're the only one, especially now, because the other side is kind of coming strong on the social media. So it's very important that we do not take the platform away from you guys as well. So the NPA confirmed, this is a couple of weeks ago, the exact date, I remember it to be the 29th of January. They confirmed to media houses on that day that advocate Thulani Mngomezulu, who represents accused number 1 and 2 in the Senzo Meyiwa trial, faces 4 charges. They include number 1, attempted murder, number 2, conspiracy to commit murder, 3, contravention of a protection order, and 4, resisting arrest charges dating back to November 2022. Mind you, this was before he took on the Senzo Meyiwa case. Was before we would even know who Advocate Mngomezulu was. And by the way, it also came out as news that he's not an advocate, he's an attorney. So we've been wrongfully referring to him as an advocate, but the media is the one who started referring him to an advocate. He never said he's an advocate. And those who are in the legal profession could identify with his gown or his robe. Apparently there's a difference between the robe that an attorney wears and the one that an advocate wears. And those who are in the legal field said that of course we knew he's an attorney because of his robe. Duh. So we are laymen, we don't know. I didn't know. I thought he's an advocate. So yeah, the complainant in this case was his wife, Udumisile Sebentile Mngomezulu, whom he works with on the case. And I found out interesting information that she's a social worker by profession and also a social activist. So she's involved in activism as well, and she's a social worker, but she's also working with her husband on this case in particular. And I think we all have a clue on who it is. I think we've seen her in the court proceedings. There was a time that Mr. Mngomezulu was kind of stuck and is like, can I have my assistant next to me? I think it's that assistant that he was referring to. Well, the story of what actually took place with this incident that ended up becoming a case.
Yes.
It's alleged that the police found petrol in Mngomezulu's car after he allegedly threatened to burn the house where his wife and children live. And I just found out as well that Mngomezulu has 3 children, 2 sons and a daughter.
Yeah.
And they are all in university, if I'm not mistaken. They're quite young adults. So they are saying that there was a time that this happened. He allegedly threatened to burn the house where his wife and children live. It's all alleged. It's the story behind these charges that kind of threw us off and came out of nowhere. So apparently she wanted to withdraw the case, but the NPA declined to withdraw. Okay, and the matter is said to be in court on the the 6th of March. So the NPA, National Prosecuting Authority, Gauteng spokeswoman Pindim Jondwane confirmed the matter against the accused is ongoing from November 2022. So she said that a complaint was laid by his wife for defying a protection order. He was charged with several counts, one of which is a contravention of the court order, assault by way of threats, conspiracy to commit murder, attempted murder, as well as resisting an arrest. She also said that the complainant withdrew the charges. This goes in as far as her writing a letter to the NPA to drop the case. She even wrote the letter to the NPA to have the case dropped. So the Legal Practice Council has confirmed that according to their records, Thulani Mngomezulu, the lawyer for accused number 1 and 2 in the Senzo Meyiwa trial, is listed as an attorney on its records and not an advocate. But the LPC says that attorneys can be granted permission to appear in the High Court. The court itself would need to give him permission to appear before it. So before any of you get confused, he has already obtained that permission. Otherwise, he wouldn't be appearing at the Senzo Meyiwa trial and representing accused number 1 and 2. So that permission has already been granted to him.
And it's done once.
It is done once. It cannot be done again. Yes. So whether Mngomezulu continues representing his client,
it's a manner of reporting, and a manner of utterances from the so-called spokesperson.
Yes.
Which are very damaging, if you ask me.
The way they report things.
It's my opinion.
It's
my opinion. It sounds very damaging.
It's a doom. It's a doom reporting. In my opinion, it's like, because now they're saying that he needs permission from the high. No, he doesn't.
Now it sounds like
that permission.
They want to say he's not even supposed to appear there.
Yes, that before he appears again, he will need to have permission
from
the High Court again.
In a sense, play this already. The mind is being prepared to say he's in the wrong place in any case. Hence, he needs to be withdrawn from this case. That sounds like that.
It sounds like it, ne?
Yeah.
It's because the way they put it, they say, so whether Mngomezulu continues with representing his clients lies with the High Court of Pretoria.
Where does that...
They are the ones who will give him permission.
Why are you even talking about it?
On whether he can continue with the Senzo Meyiwa trial within a trial or not. I'm just giving and painting a picture to our family over here, because people fall for this. People believe this. People will come here fighting with such points that have been delivered. You know, and you ask yourself, what is happening? But we seek knowledge over here in Mzansi Reality. We seek understanding. Sometimes we look and combine the information, even if it's an opposite of what we believe in, but we dissect it to come to a better conclusion. Isn't that right, Mr. Anonymous?
That's what we do.
Yes. So apparently, Mr. Mngomezulu never said that he was an attorney in the media, you know, and the question is who termed him as such, and it's obviously the media. They gave him that title. So his gown is the one that shows him to be an attorney and not an advocate. And of course, I did not know this myself, but all those gowns, apparently they don't look the same. Apparently there's a difference between them, but to us lay persons, they look the same. Another thing that someone on X pointed out is that the right of appearance of attorneys at the High Court is a once-off thing. One does not have to apply each time, and most journalists don't pay attention to this. So since he has already started appearing on behalf of accused 1 and 2 in this trial within a trial, it does not mean that now he has to apply again and continue to represent them. That explains why he has been in court throughout, you know, and it was business as usual for him. Nothing really major happened to disrupt his appearance. And I also remember Mngomezulu around that time that he was struggling to find documents, Mr. Anonymous. I'm under the impression that that lady was calling for assistance because she's always in court every time he's in court. And the journalists are like, she's assisting with the court. So we're going to come to that conclusion as Mzansi reality that that lady is the wife, okay? And Mngomezulu, he gave the impression that his assistance is important. And before I even delve deeper, this is my personal observation, Mr. Anonymous, ne? That time, because I remember this story broke after that time where he was like, my lord, can I ask for assistance? Do you guys remember that time? I can't quite remember what he was struggling, looking for documents in court. It was a Friday, I think. I don't know, but you guys can correct me. And then that dependency, I feel like it was spotted. And then, someone was like, look deeper into this lady. Do you understand what I'm saying? Maybe they searched with Mngomezulu and they tried to look for cases before and they couldn't find anything. And then they're like, look at this lady.
And obviously we are discussing this under assumption.
Yeah, speculations.
And presuming that if this was a case, if these cases were bogus and made, or if these cases were actually not even supposed to be where they are now, and that is now the perspective that we are looking at. It's not to say that they don't exist or they exist, but we are just trying to poke holes where we can in the court of public opinion and on the basis of what we see in public, and there's nothing that we have that speaks beyond that.
Yes, that speaks beyond that. We are speculating, and my speculation here is, of course, that. And when I think about it as well, I'm like, Mngomezulu was never quite arrested for this case. So he's not on the system. So even if they were to look for Mngomezulu's info and look for everything regarding him, obvious they wouldn't find anything, right? But then if they look for the wife, because the wife is the one who laid the complaint,
then they probably be able to pick up something.
They picked this up. So according to reports, she wanted to withdraw the case, but the NPA declined to withdraw. It is also concerning that he did all of these. If he did all these allegations and all these allegations are anything to go by, it is also concerning. And I feel that the wife would be the best person to speak on this situation because it allegedly happened to her. And she would be the best person to speak on whatever the element of GBV is there. You understand? We are not the right people to speak on it. And we cannot condemn him because a case was withdrawn. Domestic issues, guys, are tricky. Domestic issues are very tricky. You cannot just go in believing what you believe. Next thing, people are together. As you can see now, they are together. It's as if nothing ever happened.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? So, bati indaba zabantaba bila zingenwa. You understand? This is that type of situation.
They would be the better narrator of
what
the story.
Happened. But right now we're working with allegations that are coming from public platforms. But they are the better people to tell the story or to tell their sides of the story as to what happened during that time that resulted in her going to the police and wanting a protection order. And I even saw some people commenting that they could see with his impatience whenever the judge was interfering with his cross-examination that he has a short temper. People will draw anything, Mr. Anonymous, at a time of crisis. At a time like this, people will now pinpoint the fact that Rata would interfere and he would have a problem with it. Now it's seen as a short temper.
But my question is, if you look at that, why then continue working with such a person?
How so?
I mean, if they say this person is a bad person who's got a short temper,
it's the public
I'm saying on the basis of that, exactly that.
Yeah.
So why would the wife continue then helping that short-tempered man who's not worth to be even focused on? Those are the questions that you obviously ask, and I don't want to delve deep on that. But what I want to say is the similarities between what we are seeing, the charges, the laying of these charges, how and what are the charges. If you look at what Malisela Tifo was arrested in August and on charges, it was a charge of fraud, theft, assault, and malicious damage to property. And those
at some point he also had resisting arrest. But
yes, like and resisting arrest was also part of the whole thing initially. And even ask questions such as I'm appearing in court all the time. How can I resist?
Yes.
How can I not be found?
Yes.
Because I'm always appearing in these courts.
Yes.
How can I not be found? But I guess it's history now that we're speaking about it. One thing you could see the way the lineup of D4's charges are is that around D4, seemingly, if you ask me, there was nothing of such. Not to say maybe that probably it was not looked at to say, can we find something like that?
Here's the weird thing about D4's one, right? They said it started off as a trespassing. Remember?
Yeah, I remember.
The one where he was arrested on the first day of
when he was
trial.
arrested in court.
Yes, when he was arrested in court.
Yes.
It was a trespassing charge.
Yes.
And then they couldn't tell who had opened the case. Even he didn't know who had opened the case. And then he finds out that it's some former police officers I don't know if I remember correctly, with that trespassing charge. Of course, now, currently, it's not only that trespassing charge. They've added on a lot of other charges. But it wasn't known as to the story of where did he trespass? How did the trespassing happen?
Yes.
You know, it didn't make any sense, right? And then, as I followed the story, and then he gets arrested again sometime August. And then now there's another trespassing charge that was added, and they're saying that he broke into his office.
Yes. And that is where the malicious damage to property and I think the assault accompanied by that, it's in one process, it's in one happening, allegedly. And then I think theft
and they said
fraud.
that they arrested him on the day that he committed that trespassing act.
Yes.
But what happened to the initial trespassing charge that he was arrested for on that day of court?
We don't know. We don't know what happened. Look,
we've been avoiding to talk about it, but
it's a difficult situation.
It's difficult to unpack because none of these charges really make sense to me.
It's a good thing that I think Mngomezulu is gonna go attend that, because I'm sure the manner in which they are put together, it is such that, for me, this is according to me, if he starts standing up and going to his heads of arguments for accused number 1 and 2 and argues or does all these things, maybe it overlaps from the 4th. It's only 2 days.
Yes.
And then next thing the court says this is a high court. We are issuing an order. By the time that process is happening, then Mngomezulu is arrested for attempt of, what is it, defiance? What is it called?
Trespassing.
If you defy the court, there's a way, the court's order.
Or defying a court order.
Defying the court's order.
Okay.
And then you get arrested. By the time you come back to rectify that, it's already late. The damage is done.
Okay, on the point of people who were sharing their opinions on the day that this story broke and they were speaking of Mngomezulu's temper, I beg to differ because he has composed himself very well from the beginning of the trial. You know, he would even let some of the arguments go when the judge succeeded in kind of disturbing his arguments. So to use that against him is really twisting matters here. And I even just read a little bit about him, and turns out he's a religious man. He attends the Zion Christian Church. And he's composed. I know a lot of people would like to think that he has a short temper, but I did not see that. I saw a person who can control their emotions in that courtroom. Because let's be honest, Judge Rata can drive you to be like, yebo, to raise your temperature. But under the circumstances, he's composed himself. So we have to give credit where it's due. I mean, when you talk about Advocate Tefo, he would not have been able to stand for that nonsense. He wouldn't have. So I just feel like that's a bit unfair and a bit brash. So apparently there's also a new law in the NPA, Mr. Anonymous. I saw this law in action with the case of Thulani Mngomezulu and Maphorisa. This new law is that they no longer allow victims of domestic violence to drop charges against their perpetrators. I mean, I remember it with Maphorisa and Thulani Mngomezulu. It was a case of, domestic violence as well. And Thulani Mngomezulu dropped the charges a few days later after she opened the case. And then the NPA continued taking Maphorisa to court. So they still continued regardless of her dropping the charges. And although it does not make sense to me how the charges were dropped, but the Gauteng NPA spokesperson Pindim Jwandana said that this at the time, there are currently no cases against him. So this I'm speaking in reference with the Maphorisa case. It's not the Mngomezulu case. So they said that there were no cases against Maphorisa. And so as the prosecution, they stopped criminal proceedings against him as he had never been convicted before. So they dropped Maphorisa's case after months of taking him to court. Do you understand? They took him to court regardless of whether Thulani Mngomezulu was there or not. And at the end of them dropping the case against Maphorisa, they said because he had no criminal history. That was the reason that they gave, is that he has no criminal past. He's never been convicted before, and he's a first-time offender. Okay? So remember, we also have the withdrawal statement of complaints. She also said that they have evidential materials as the order of prosecution, and it was clear that they could not continue with the case. So Mjondongwana said that the NPA, they were guided by the interest of justice, what is in the docket. And during the court proceedings, the public prosecutor said that he had withdrawn the case because of the outcome of his representatives. He said that the matter on the roll for representation's outcome and charges have been withdrawn as per senior public prosecutor decision. So that still makes no sense to me exactly how the charges were dropped. Is it because they did not have enough evidence that the incident occurred? Or is it because simply Maphorisa is a first-time offender? Is a first-time offender. He doesn't have any criminal charges prior to him. And if he had them, they were going to lock him up. How does it work exactly? But getting back to Mngomezulu, the question is, why wait more than a year later before stopping Mngomezulu's wife from stopping her to drop the charges? Because she had written a letter to the NPA and said that, you know what, I'm dropping this charge, I'm dropping this case. And then a year later, it's resuscitated as he is part of the Senzo Meyiwa Trial. And he was coming along very strong. We, the public, were really feeling like Mngomezulu was a game transformer of some sort, because it moved from one gear to gear 4, as in overnight with his presence. And then finding out that his wife wrote to the NPA and asked to drop the charges. And they're like, no, we're not doing that. But they keep quiet. They don't even respond to her letter. They keep quiet. And as he appears for the Senzo Meyiwa trial, a year later, they're like, you have a charge against you.
Yes. That is how things are.
And currently, as it stands, the charge that the NPA has against Mngomezulu is that of resisting arrest. So it seems all these other charges, I don't know but the strong one they have is resisting arrest, and it's the one that they are continuing with. So I don't know if there's a hindrance with the assault and what are the other ones? Attempted murder. I don't know whether those charges they simply have gone away because the wife refuses to continue or what. But the one that they are continuing with is resisting arrest that I've read about. So you guys, that's pretty much what is going on with Mngomezulu. This case in itself, to me, does not make sense. How it got to be resuscitated after a year.
You see the problem that I have with all this happening. Why I'm looking at this.
Mm-hmm.
Why I'm interested in this behavior. If you disagree with me, I understand.
Yes.
This seems to follow a similar pattern to what the accused have been saying. Accused number 1, number 2.
Yes.
These cases, and on their side, more so on Danzi, there was nothing.
When they arrested him on the 16th of
We
June,
moved from 0
2020
to 30 cases.
90, some point he said over 70 cases or something like that.
I didn't hear it, I had 30, but then I got it. Yes. It just doesn't make sense if you ask me. I know that we can argue, hey, there's GBV and whatnot. We're talking about, as you said, this person is a social worker of someone who understands this thing. They work with these things. They decide that we're dropping their case for whatever reason. You understand? And it should end there.
It should end there, honestly speaking.
This is not a lay person. I think that should be considered also. I understand we are fighting all that we are fighting, which is a debate for another day. But look at what we are at now. And I can literally assume, I'm not even sure if Mngomezulu is going to be the one doing the heads of arguments.
How can he? I mean, the dates are pretty much stacked up. He has to prepare for his own case. Remember, even Advocate Teffonized was in a similar position where he had to prepare for his own case, at the same time represent the accused. And ultimately, he ended up withdrawing. Do you guys remember that?
I remember that.
And just when he was being arrested for trespassing, it couldn't quite stick. Then we heard that there were people who were his clients and they were complaining that he had taken their monies or something like that. And then the LPC now comes and makes this announcement on the live television for all of us to see that they are. What were they doing to him?
My worry, Emil, is that look at how these papers, I'm not going to say the name of the paper here because they are saying disbarred advocate.
They keep saying
Malisela
disbarred.
Tifo arrested on charges of fraud, assault. Do you see that? That the first word is disbarred. It's heading.
Why disbarred? Because that's not quite the case. He was here.
Legal
cleared it up.
woes for disbarred advocate Malisela Tifo continue to pile up. Do you see that?
I see it.
It's very interesting.
The reporting is very interesting. It's like they've already picked the side. And they don't care
Reporting.
about
Awful.
advocate.
And I can.
for
This
side.
is a different paper. I go to another one. It says disbarred advocate. Therefore,
All of them.
Therefore, arrested on. This
All
is
of
a
them.
different paper. And then I go to the other one. Okay, this one at least it says, therefore, to be charged with contempt of court for refusing to. This was 9, I think, August, to cooperate with the police. Do you see what the learned colleagues do? They read these papers and they come with that mentality.
Well, the spokesperson for Gauteng NPA, Mjonon Dwani, said that she's no longer wishes to. Okay, she said that the complainant, which is Mngomezulu's wife, also tried to withdraw the matter, but this bid was rejected. In a quotation, she says that she stated that she no longer wishes to continue with the case, but unfortunately, as the NPA, we deemed it fit and in the interest of justice to continue with the case with the aim of protecting the wife, whom came to us with a complaint over a year ago.
They're protecting the same person sitting next to.
Over a year ago. So what if actually
The agents of solving this case, though, it was moving fast, if you ask me. The case was, a person could still be alive if anything was to happen to that person. I'm just saying. It's a year.
and we as the public opinion court, we're not supposed to think that something is not right here. 2022, you're protecting her. It's 2024 now. Is this how you move with domestic cases and GBV cases? Is this the pace that you all work at? And if he wasn't on the Senzo Meyiwa case, would you care? Did you even bother to care?
If you look at the time it took for someone who's protecting you to respond after a year, ne?
Yes. It's over a year, actually.
Very interesting.
It's a year and a couple of months.
And if you ask me, only when a case is called, when does a case get called?
Well, a case gets called if it can not be solved. That's my understanding of a cold case.
So this one is not called, it's hot.
It's not a case that's still open and being investigated. That's not a cold case. A cold case, it's a case where they decide we cannot solve this case and they put it away. It's a cold case when it's like that. When you've done the investigation and you are still not finding anything, that's a cold case. But a one that's currently being investigated, it is not cold yet. It's not a cold case, that one. I remember there was a series I used to watch in my younger days. It was, of course, from the US. It used to be called Cold Cases. I don't know how many of you guys used to watch that series. It was quite interesting, where they would open cases from way back in 1970, 1980s, They were very cold cases where there was not even a witness or anybody. But by some luck, maybe they'll find someone who saw something and then they will follow. They would always go back to the incident of the crime. They were difficult to solve. Those cold cases are not a walk in the park, eh?
In South Africa, let me tell you how cold cases work. They are cold because they cannot be solved. Right? After several attempts of getting this person arrested, failing, and then let's move from Vosloorus, let's make the circle wider. We go to KZN.
But it was still being investigated.
A person fails, the court tell that person to get out of here. And then we come back to Johannesburg again. Then in Johannesburg, we find people and they confess. In South Africa, there's a lot of confession, if you ask me. People confess here.
I mean, Senzo Meyiwa in that interview, the first one he did with ENCA that we even talked about on the channel, he said that there was a guy by the name of April that was taken to a court in Pietermaritzburg, and he was there to confess for the same case.
Same case. And no one can talk about that. It's done. We're in a new one now. But same case, but different people.
Sure. So yes, guys, that's it with Advocate Mngomezulu and some of the things that we kind of are spotting, and we're like, oh my God, Advocate Tefo gone through this. And he's still going through it because he's still incarcerated even now. Yeah,
but
we can only hope and pray for Mngomezulu
that it doesn't reach that point.
It doesn't reach a point where they lock him up as well.
And taking off his license.
And taking off his practicing license. We can only hope and pray. Because, hey, Kushubile, this case is a lot. It's hectic.
Just by coming here, in Senzo's case, if you ask me, allegedly, then, boom, you find yourself with a big case in your door.
And that's why I can't stop but think that they were looking from the moment where we could already see that Mngomezulu was sharp as the public. I'm not just speaking for myself, I'm speaking for the public, because there was a time, we were all like taken aback. We're like, yeah, this lawyer, even Ramusipili, the way he used to look at him and how he conducted his cross-examinations as well. And the fact that he could recall some of the things from his head. I mean, it showed excellence.
We were happy about that.
Well, it showed excellence, and then we knew something's
gonna come.
We knew we had a feeling.
Something's coming. But the movie's not done yet.
We're like, maybe the game has changed. So that's why when the news broke out, we were not exactly shocked. We were not shocked because it was too good to be true.
Mm-hmm. I did talk about it, even offline.
You did, yes. You
did. I was
like, it's too good to
something is coming here.
Something is being
like
being
I could bet you money. Emil. I could say something's coming. Don't worry. Just wait and see. If you don't see such cases coming your way, and you're not doing something wrong, in my own opinion, there's something you're not doing right. In my own opinion, you start shaking the trees, someone somewhere is going to have a case against you, allegedly. Yes.
So now we have this case of resisting arrest.
It's always there. There's always that resisting arrest.
And advocate.
It's like we are charged or contempt of something. We're moving like that. That's how we are moving. So you could be sitting at home chilling there and thinking that when you are as clean as they come, only to find that you are already in contempt of court somewhere, somehow. Because someone, somewhere, somehow, decided to open the case and you're not aware.
I'm telling you, in my opinion, they were looking at Advocate Mngomezulu, entering him into the system every day, finding if he hasn't had any cases.
Eish.
And they didn't find anything. And then one day, somebody's like, is that the wife? But yeah, that's the wife. Okay, what's her name? Look.
Yeah, but we laugh. It's a joke. But I mean.
And then there's also another skaka that has been circulating. I don't know if I should share it about the daughter. Is it safe?
No.
It's not. Okay.
No. Leave it like that.
It's a lot. So can we open the lines, Mr. Anonymous, before I put my foot in my mouth?
Please don't. Let us open the line. Guys, you can call and tell us what you guys are thinking. We obviously could be just off-ramping. Mind your language, guys.
And please, yes, guys, the rules still apply. Mind the language. YouTube is language sensitive. There's certain
and also the allegation.
And also don't make the allegations too because now you're gonna give me work now and you're gonna make me scared to come back live. Okay, just keep it clean.
If you find us switching you off, you must know that we think you're offline.
Don't go there.
It's no hate. There. We don't hate you. Please like the video, share the video, and comment as usual. Let's hear the first caller. Mzansi, hello.
Hello, Mzansi Reality. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Thanks, and you guys.
We are good. We are good. Let's shoot so that we
can. Anonymous, Emily. Yes, everyone a chance to talk. Thank you guys for coming in early because, yeah. We some of us we working early tomorrow. By the way, it's DJ Oza on the line.
Oh, DJ
Hi,
Oza.
DJ Oza.
I see you in the comments.
Your comments all the time.
Yes. Alive and kicking.
Yes.
By the way, I just wanted to comment. I don't know. I mentioned something on the comments. It's based on Patricia, the whistleblower. She mentioned something interesting about Kininda, Baloyi, and some of the magistrates and the judges, that these people work hand in hand when it comes to cases. Kininda will make arrests and whatnot, and then Baloyi becomes the magistrate on each and every case that Kininda handles. And then what happens is they frame people, they find them guilty at the end of the case. So she mentioned all of that these people are dangerous and they threaten you with your life if you interfere with the cases that they handle. So I've noticed that this is one of the cases that they are handling, which is, I'm not sure if they have a choice, but they kind of like exposed because now we can see it on the TV. And I fail to still understand the people that are believing the state that they actually having their case handled well. I don't know, are we the crazy ones or what's happening here? Because we can clearly see that the state is actually framing these people and they have no case against these people. So basically that's what I wanted to mention. Right now that, apparently these people are dangerous. They're highly dangerous and we should be careful. She was even warning that the people that are commenting and whatnot must watch out because these people are very equipped. They're very equipped and they can get you into trouble. And you'll definitely be guilty of any allegations that they throw against you. They create cases at any point. So this is becoming dangerous, guys. So even you guys, be careful. We love you guys.
Cool. Allegedly, everything you said, right?
Yes, allegedly.
Thank you.
So let's give the rest a chance to comment. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. That is the reason why we only work with information that's public.
We don't go overboard, no?
Yeah. Because
no. For who? Mzansi, hello. Hello.
Hello, Mzansi. How are you?
We're good.
Anonymous. I'm good. How are you, Emily, my girl?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Mom Memory here.
Hi, Mom.
Yeah,
Memory.
I love this channel. Thanks so much for you guys.
Thank you.
But I'm worried. I'm a little bit worried. You must keep yourself safe. South Africa is no longer a safe place. This is really sad that Senzo will never get justice.
Yeah.
That is ngibona engani sokuya lapho manje. Yeah, but anyway, let's just sihlale ethembeni. Asihlaleni sisethembeni ukuthi this is ama-confessions ukuthi accept or not, and the trial will be going on. Angitsho kuzoba njalo.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true. If they are accepted, we continue.
Yeah, if
whether
they
they
are
are
accepted.
not, I think we'll still continue.
Yes. Let's just hope ukuthi ubaba Mngomezulu uzoyenzela lo baba lo munye orama siphile ama-arguments, ama-hate arguments amlungiselele konke. If mind yakhe isaseseklisi anymore, because what Emily obekuthi la mina ngabona i-setback long time ago kubaba Mngomezulu. The time kuqala nje ukukhulunywa ngecase yakhe le ngabona ebuyele emuva baba Mngomezulu. He was no longer Baba Mngomezulu when he came.
Yeah.
He was trying. Allegedly.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That is what I thought. Ngiyabonga lisiphathe kahle bantwana bami, uNkulunkulu alivikele libe safe.
Siyabonga. Thank you.
Yeah. All right.
Right. Keep the calls coming and let's hear what you have to say. And remember, respectfully. And also we work with public information. We are not breaking any news. No. We don't break any news. We just add commentary on what is existing. We're not tapping on that territory of following people. We're no way doing that. Get the message clear.
Yes. We've always made it clear that we work with public information. It would be very difficult to enter that terrain without...
Mzansi, hello.
Oh, guys.
Mzansi, hello.
Hello.
Hello, miss. How are you?
I'm good, thanks, and you?
You're good.
Hey, guys, lovely show. Please help me here.
Yeah.
I think my logic is failing me.
Yeah.
In the sense that if the case has been withdrawn,
yes,
why are they resuscitating, especially that part of resisting arrest? Resisting arrest for if the case is withdrawn.
Hey. Being shy nami lapho. I don't know. I have no idea.
It dropped you, and I think it's in its network.
I have no idea. To answer your question, I don't know how it happens that a case
Someone
is
is commenting here saying that let us reframe discussing certain things here, and I think I agree with him.
You agree
Tim
with
Cool,
them?
can we not discuss Patricia's news story here, please?
Yeah, I kind of agree with that as well because, it is too much.
And then someone is saying on WhatsApp, greetings, Mr. Anonymous and Emily. What do you think of the video that was posted on YouTube by Titi Tobane regarding the Senzo Meyiwa Trial?
I have not watched it yet.
Yeah, I've not digested it properly.
I have not watched it yet, but I'll get to it later after this broadcast if that will make you happy because I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, You see, this case, Yazin, sometimes I just want to say what we got in public and then just shut down.
Yeah.
Because we've got more other stories other than this one.
That are already
this
on the
one is
public.
difficult. It's not difficult. It's.
I was hoping we'll talk more about Mngomezulu, what happens to Mngomezulu. But since you guys are bringing in all that, it's overwhelming. That's all I can say. And I don't like it being brought here as well. And that's why we refrain from talking about it. It's not
some of the things we see them.
Yes. But because they're not a part of public domain, it's almost like we're bringing an exclusive, and we told you we don't want to do that. It's murky waters, you know.
Yeah.
You still want to be objective at the end of the day and not make it seem like you're believing what somebody's saying over what another person is saying. We try to be objective on this channel. So, not want to be, but even with the case itself, we're working with stuff that we are all seeing.
Yeah, it's something that you can go do your research and find it, right?
Yes.
Something that is not in the public eye, we stay away from it. Even if we read about it.
Yeah.
We're not saying it's correct, we're
go.
not saying it's wrong, but we just stay away from it because when you do these things like this, you sort of, when there's that feeling that tells you that don't touch that.
Yeah, you become scared.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, you don't feel safe.
How many times have I shut you down?
It's a public platform, but you end up not feeling safe. It's public news, but you end up feeling like, I'm scared to talk about this. And we had already gotten over that fear. But now bringing that information here is going to make us scared. And the next thing, we're going to disappear for a whole month because we're scared.
It's good other people are doing it.
Yeah.
It's good for them.
They're brave and bold. It's good for them.
Yeah.
Now, I like for people to have a space to speak objectively and to speak of things that are already public. Going into, I'm not ready, guys. I'm not a journalist. I'm not.
Yeah, we're not.
I'm not a journalist.
So, moral of the story is that breaking news, comment there wherever you got them.
Yeah, go comment where you got them.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah. No.
You're all about what is there.
I will not be able to work if I bring that here.
Yeah, and that being said, guys, I think we enjoyed. It's been a while.
Yeah.
We enjoyed being live. Other stuff we probably won't be bringing it live for this reason. Mzansi, hello.
Hi guys, how are you?
Good.
Hi.
And
Good. I'm sorry guys. I'm Tim Kulu. I'm the one who put up that post that we must refrain from discussing that stuff.
Yes,
Thank
please.
you.
Thank you.
Yeah. I don't know. How do you think the judge reacts to such things when he sees things happening to the defense like this? How does he respond to this? How does he make you feel? Because he sees it.
Yeah. I think he's trying to be objective. It's his job at the end of the day to just not to be seen. But although this one is very different because we've been crying about how he seems to be on the side of the state more than. But the job of a judge is to be objective, to be in the middle.
Because he can see something is wrong here. He can definitely see that, you know. So I always wonder that. I'm sure when he gets home, whoever's at home, they're discussing this case. People, they talk. They're like, hey, something is fishy here. Or even when he took the case, he knew something was fishy here.
Yeah, I hear you.
or maybe that's why they put him in the case, allegedly. That he knew that something was fishy here.
I get you thinking. Yeah, no. No, it must be hard. I would say that. It must be hard.
Yeah. It's definitely hard.
And I don't know if I'm assuming, I know the answer to this question, but I'll ask it anyway. Is there a possibility that some way that defense can use what is happening against the defense in this case? I'm sure they can't, but there's some way where they can throw it in, where they can say what happened to the defense attorneys is exactly what happened to the defendants in this case.
You cannot make the case about you. That's the thing. No matter how much they kick you outside, you have to take it as a man. But you can never bring your personal experience to defend someone. I will tell you straight, right in your face, that this is not about you.
It's not about you. Yeah. Anyway, okay. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Right. Thank you very much again for that observant eye and telling us when people were getting out of hand.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you,
family.
guys.
You guys are indeed a family, because
Yeah, in our side, normally I try to limit myself into what is happening in that topic that we talk about. Not to say that we don't read about other stuff. We do, but it's just that it's murky. Sometimes
waters.
if it's like that, it's the discussion between us, and that's it.
Yeah, so a date for the elections has been announced. I don't know if you guys know. They are going to be taking place on the 29th of May, 2024.
Yes, I guess everyone will be ready to vote. Those who are eligible to vote, they will be ready to vote. And we are not going to say anything again. Vote correctly. That's all I can say.
Yes, vote for your own interest.
Yes, vote for your own interest. And if you feel that your interest is served by a certain party, please do so respectfully and let your vote speak for itself.
Yebo.
Right.
So yeah, guys, that's about it. We didn't even plan for this live to be that long, so we will wrap it up here, Mr. Anonymous.
Yeah.
I don't think it should be too long, so that
and that would give me time to go
digest
and rush and watch Man City playing today.
Okay, you heard. Mr. Anonymous wants to watch Man City. It's time for us to wrap this up, and yeah, tomorrow we'll come with another story. Hopefully.
And it's not going to be live. You know why we minimize lives? It's not because we have a problem with lives, because some commentary are such that will create that kind of debate that will be uncomfortable.
Like today, it almost turned to
that direction.
So no, guys, we'll deliver maybe videos. I don't know, but you guys let us know in the comment section.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, Mr. Anonymous, and yourself?
Yes, good, all good.
Yeah, it's just that it's been a long thing. We're just watching you guys, not commenting. But I'm just watching you, looking at the case, the way that it flows now. Apparently, I've noticed something that is very much crucial in terms of the admissibility of these confessions, cases 1 and 2.
Okay, let's hear it.
Yeah, because at some point I wanted to call, I think 2 or 3 days, I'm not sure by the time of proceedings, but I couldn't go through. And I've predicted that, and it was said actually by the judge on the wrapping up of this case. Then the judge mentioned something that you guys probably also you've been commenting about it, of the OB entries that have been made.
Yes.
If you still remember that.
Yes.
And those OB entries, the defense failed there dismally. Even the judge also showed them that. And apart from that, the judge was fair. He gave them chance to appeal. If you check, Baloyi stood up and refused for the defense to redo that thing of recalling the what you call the proof of those OB entries. And then he opted for those to be done on the argument, which was fine, but not fine, because on the argument, remember, we don't have a sight of it, of how it works as a people of public, just to see what actually transpire on those. But I want to just give you a point on that. Hence, I'm working for SAPS. You see, the OB entries, if you check when Ramasipile and also Mngomezulu, all the defense, when they were asking about the OB entries, you will find that these people that were taking these both accused, 1 and 2, they are not the ones who made the entries on the OB. They are the ones who took the what you call the accused to the cells.
Yes.
You see,
Yes.
and this is the procedure into all stations. Regardless, you can't, even if you come from wherever, you come here, you are arresting someone or you're taking someone from cells. You can't go alone there. You have to have a police officer. That police. There's two things, Mr. Anonymous and Emily, that you must know. If I enter there in your studio, there must be someone who's going to be responsible of anything that is missing there, irrespective of I'm working there. All right. So if ever I'm taking something from wherever, Mr. Anonymous or either you must be there. So I'm trying to make a point here on these OB entries. Remember, when accused was asked, he said, I never saw any police comes and ask me about how was I assaulted. He always maintained that I was in the car, these people come with the keys and take me to the cells.
Yes.
And the OB entries made that Mr. So-and-so, who was the charge of it, there's two people there. There's a person supposed to be in charge of the OB entries. That person, it might be you, Mrs. Emily, that you are responsible of the OB entries, which is all the information and the cases that are being reported in the station. Whoever comes, even if it's the firearm that is the person that has been arrested, or firearms that are being, or a 13 is something that is like has to be submitted in the police station. You, Emily, has to be responsible of that day, that what actually happened, because you endorse your signature there, that Mr. So-and-so brought a prisoner, and you observe that prisoner, that he was not having any injuries. And we have to go in and extend that you ask that person, so that transparency, because you are going to endorse a signature that Mr. Accused number 1 was brought into our police station, and he was placed into cells. He was not having any injuries, and I observe, and he was sober, and you endorse your signature. Remember what I'm saying. The judge also even said that that person who was writing the OB, it can be even called. If you check on that record, you will find that Rata Mukhaten mentioned that he even refused when Baloyi says that no, it must go for an argument. He says no, I can grant them. If you want that, I can grant you right now. Then we redo that. You call, because Giminda was here. You never asked that for the verification of those OB entries. That can be fabricated. The OBs can be fabricated. They can do a new OB, because those OBs, once it's full of the month, you take it to archives and it must be kept there. And those people that signed there and the OB, it has got different entries. Others you see, you can't. It's not easy to fabricate. But if it's fabricated, that OB, it's easy to see, because you can see different writings there. If it's fabricated, you will see that similar writings. You see, so that's why he's careful, that guy. So I'm very worried about that. But I hope they will get a chance, or due to the fact that this thing has to be raised on argument, that those OB entries, the original OB, because I believe what they work on there is not the actual OB. Those are the few copies of the entries of booking in and booking out of the suspect. But if they can, those copies, they go to archives of those relevant police stations and request that actual OB, where they peruse that OB and see that this is an authentic OB. You see, which correspond with these copies, because when I'm working with the OB, even in at the police station, if there is a complaint that there at your studio there's someone who's trying to hijack you guys, then you will phone call us, and then we write on the OB that Zanzi Reality Show, Mr. Anonymous called and say that there's somebody allegedly that this person is doing ABC. Then we write it on the OB, and then I write it, I do a complaint, and then I bring that I on the system. It gives me an IR. That IR number is a reference of your complaint on the system, so that even if that OB is been stolen, but your complaint is registered on the system. So these people, they can manipulate that if those original OBs are not being requested. And the dependence of the admissibility of this confession depends on those OBs. Because those OBs are crucial. And those people that were signing for these people that were taking these suspects can be called in court. It would be very much interesting. So I don't want to dwell on that, but I just wanted to cite that on you guys. That please, that's it, Mr. Anonymous.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
For your contribution.
And I agree. I didn't even know that there's actually an IP number or whatever. But there's something about those OB entries that, I don't know, I just felt like the fight was not hard enough.
Not as hard as it was supposed to be.
Because with Krecha, that's how they actually won that trial within a trial with the Donovan Krecha case. The OBs that were submitted before were different to the ones that after they were recalled, and you even saw what happened with the AVLs and the other evidence that was supported. I'm going to speak on behalf of the cell phone records and the AVL. You saw what happened once they was asking for original copies. The AVL told us that Ntanzi was onto something. It told us that the version of Ntanzi was more correct than the one of the police. And imagine if they just recall the OB entries, the original source. The original, because I'm bothered. You know what is bothering me about those OB entries? It's the fact that the names of the people that made the entries are coming by word of mouth. Where is their signature? Why are they in the original OB but not on the OB that were given to the defense? What is happening there? Do you understand what I'm saying? So I just feel like the fight should have been harder when it came to supporting Advocate Nisi, raising that. It was very important.
Someone said after that they might have seen something like a judge winking to Baloyi after.
Yes, I saw a comment. Was there winking?
I'll go check it out, and that's an allegation, obviously. It's not something that is. Yep, the judge.
Those OBs, defense. Those OBs, the original ones. You need to see them before you can accept defeat.
The feeling is that they might have made a mistake on the basis of the person who worked with SAPS. That's the feeling. My feeling on the other side is that they are afraid of bringing people who are going to put the rubber stamp on certain things, because seemingly anything is possible, anything can be created and recreated. I don't know. The access is too much. In if you ask me, it's unlimited. If you ask me, so that's a feeling that I have. That's why they said no. Let us let them lead this evidence without verifying it. It's okay.
Okay.
We will mention it at the end, because if we say anything now,
it gives them time.
Yes. They've been doing a lot of things, ambushing the defense. Yes.
They'll have 2 weeks to really get it together.
Do you understand? And then next thing, everything is just speaking to each other. Because in a sense, what is being said here, it is helpful in a sense that they can still file for that. before they make their heads of argument, say can we have original archive
with the reference numbers,
yes, with the reference numbers.
Know that the reference numbers are included there.
So once they do that, then it becomes an issue of blow by blow. Just for us to prepare for our arguments, can we have the original archive, my lord, since it seems as if we have accepted them.
And I also find it hard to believe that it was just one police officer who was doing all the OB entries all the time. I kind of find it difficult to believe that, because being at a police station, I feel like they switch roles, the police. I don't think there's someone who's like on this station forever and ever. Do you understand what I'm saying? I feel like maybe there were different police officers, you know, and that is why Mohani was never specific. All these police officers, Mohani in particular, because he was the one booking in the accused most of the time. So he wasn't specific as to say, this is the police officer I found when I admitted. And then Tanzi testified that 5-minute booking in that he saw Mohani and Mohula sitting down at some desk and filling in something at the Klabani. Is it Klabani or Pukeng in Rustenburg? And then there's also that situation of him when he testified himself saying that he couldn't wait for the person to open for them. He went and fetched the keys. Do you still remember that, you guys? So there's something there, just something in those original OBs, and the state didn't submit the original ones, which is why the names came later of this Sergeant Mulefe and Sergeant Ramaja. They came late by word of mouth. It's not like the defense were able to see themselves.
Hello, can we close? Hello?
Okay, this is the final close.
Hello, we are closing now.
Why are you snapping?
Hello?
That is so triggering. It's reminding me of a certain judge.
Hello? Hello? Are you saying anything, Mngomezulu? Anything? What do you think?
I hate the snapping of the finger.
Yeah, guys.
Let me tell you a story. Monique, I don't know how many of you follow the international drama happening there. Tyler Perry, apparently, when he was speaking at some point, according to Monique, he did the same thing. And the security people just left. He was like, I guess he's a billionaire. He snapped his finger. So these things are triggering me. They're triggering me. I find them very offensive. I'm like, why are you snapping at fingers when you're talking to people? They're just a trigger. They're just...
Hello. Thank you guys for being with us. And until the next time, I think... it's a bye from me. Please like the video, share the video, and comment.
And continue the conversation.
Man City, here we go. The Citizens is a bye.